let's scoot ahead. St. Polten, Slavia Praha, 0-0. Couple teams at the bottom of Group D. What'd you see in this one?
I think my main thing from this one is this was Praha's best performance of the tournament.
Yep.
I was really encouraged. Good for them. I mean, we've talked about how they dominate their domestic league. They're not coming out here to be anybody's doormat. And good for them for their best performance coming on the road in Austria in this match. I thought that showed a level of gutsiness. As us two guys kind of like learning about these teams and figuring out like the makeup and their style of play, I thought that was really cool to see. I thought they looked sharp. They looked crisp. They weren't afraid. They were not afraid. Neither of these teams were afraid to just run into each other, smash into each other as needed. I thought American winger Haleigh Stackpole, she took some audacious shots. She's starting to look real comfortable out there. And I think also for Praha, Tereza Szewieczková, she brought on a whole new attacking flair. They brought her in at the 72nd minute. I thought she looked great. Sometimes there's a little test you can do in football where how many times does the announcer have to say this player's name? Because they're driving the ball down the field. They're making smart passes. They're ripping some shot attempts. And Szewieczková, as soon as she came into the match, it felt like within 8 minutes, the announcer had already had to reference her like 10 different times. So I love the way she looked. And for St. Polten, their old pals STP, I think they looked fine. I thought that they held their own in the match. I thought it looked relatively even, especially with Praha clearly giving their best punches that they could. Their attacker, Brunhalter, she had a chance in the 36th minute that I think she probably finishes in a lot of other cases. Wasn't able to make it happen. But with both teams sitting on 1 point going into the next match, they play in Prague. I'm eager to see how Praha kind of follows this up. Bron is on 6, Lyon is on 9. I think both these teams have the opportunity to see if they can get a win in the next match and push them up to 4. But I think what they're largely playing for is, can we play spoiler for one of these other top 2 squads? And I think they're both going to take that challenge super seriously. So I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, I think nature of Champions League also, these seasons a lot of times build on themselves. So, you want to have a good showing, roll that into next season. Both of these teams are at the top of their domestic league. So they can expect to be at least in that big mix group stage. Yep. Obviously, there's some hills to climb to get back here. But I agree with you. I thought Praha was super impressive with regard to pushing the ball forward and really trying to, push the action. And then Polten, they were there for the physical nature of the match. Praha gets 20 shots in the match, 5 on target. That's got to be something that they can hang their hat on. Mathematically, they're also not out of it, right? So if they can get a win at home against the St. Polten team, they'll be on 4 points. Who knows what happens with Bron, who's on 6 points. Those two teams play each other. So not quite over just yet, even though there's a lot of work still to be done. Polten, only 6 shots, 0 on target. Shout out to Polten keeper Carina Schlüter, who we've mentioned on this pod before. She had her work cut out for her, but she obviously showed up big time in this one to keep it 0-0 and earn her side the point.
Yeah, I mean, Schlüter continues to impress. It felt like Praha was just like, before the match, we got to take shots to score. So just take them. So I think that 20 shots, 5 on target is reflective of that, but that was the style they needed to play. Both squads were able to hold the ball. I think possession was right around 50-50 throughout the match. So it was an evenly matched game. I think you're right. I think if you're Polten, you might be able to even talk yourself into this path a little more, because you could say, we've held it relatively close in some of these other matches. We get Bron again. It'll be interesting to see what they could do, but I would never expect any other team to beat Bron again, fully in the tank. I think Bron is gunning for second place, but no disrespect to Polten and Praha. I think they're good squads and they're entertaining squads to watch.
Yep, definitely. Entertaining match. Looking forward to this rematch as well.
Yep.